Okay, so I'm just going to, before I get into this, the covering of Patrice Endres from the Netflix Unsolved Mysteries out of Georgia, I want to just comment that if there's any problem that you're having with the sound being too low, too loud, use closed caption. All you have to do is click on the closed caption setting. I have that set up as United States English for my videos. This should take care of those problems. I don't always have the ideal environment in which to film. It can be very late at night. I'm a night owl. It can be where I have other people and there's noise in the background. So, you know, I live with three other people sometimes. So, and a cat. There's noise. I live in a very noisy neighborhood. Sometimes I can't always speak so loud, like I did last. It was very quiet. So if that's the case, please just use closed caption. That should, like I said, um, sort out any problem, whether the volume isn't enough or it's too much. You can just switch to closed caption. I put a lot of effort into these videos. They may not be perfect, but this is time out of my day that I'm sharing. And if you think that the financial competence is very good with these ads, I've got to tell you that's not the main reason I'm doing this. But where that's concerned, I haven't even made $100 yet. I haven't even been paid yet. And I've made all these videos. And I do have a lot that have no ads as well. But you know, I'm not being paid for this. I'm doing the best I can. If it's not good enough, go elsewhere. Simple fixes where volume is concerned, use closed caption. Okay, now on to Patrice. This case is from the Netflix series and of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Duh. And it's out of Georgia. And I want to see who is responsible for Patrice's death. Some people think her husband had something to do with it. Other people think it could have been serial killer or killers that were in the area. I'm not so sure. So, her husband's behavior is definitely extreme. But there's also something that gnaws at me that he may not be the one. And I usually don't get that because very often they are the one. He was very possessive of her and especially horrible to her son. Very jealous of any attention she directed towards her son. But she also had this business that she was running for herself, the salon business, and I don't know what her finance situation with that was, or things of that nature. So you never know. Let's keep an open mind. Let's take a look. Creator, ancestors, what can you help me to relate through the cards with regard to who is responsible for Patrice Endres, I think is her last name, out of Georgia? She owned the salon. Who is responsible for this woman's murder? Let's see. And again, this happened in 2004 out of Georgia. Patrice Endres. Who murdered her? Murdered Patrice. Okay. Well, there we go with the Five of Cups. This is the loss, the grief. And I'm being shown someone, again, who is very stressed. There's a great deal of stress and tension. There's being interesting. The first row, I don't even get a court card. But I'm being told about day-to-day feelings and environment. With this Nine of Wands makes me feel like she felt very embattled and drained and disappointed, possibly with 3 people. In a reading I did prior to her, which I did not complete filming because I was interrupted, I got 3 people. And it looked to me like it was more to do with her business, and I'm wondering if we're going that route again. But I got a woman in the last video that I did, again, that isn't posted. That was just something I did on my own. I got 2 men and a woman. And I felt like there was a business angle, there's a money-making angle. I don't know if somebody was using her business or some aspect of her and her business as a front or anything like that. I'm throwing that out there because I just don't know. It looked along those lines. But let's continue. I also got the 2 of Pentacles, and this was with an entirely different deck, by the way. And that Ace of Cups. There's this, again, I think an issue with finances not being in a stable pattern of fluctuation. And there's a great deal of emotion and energy that's around it. Perhaps someone's expectations, and I feel like she feels like she's being drained and overwhelmed and that she can't do it all. And I'm getting that feeling again with a different deck, some slightly different cards and some that are the same. There's the Hangman, the 4 of Wands. This deals with people in her local society, environment, town, area. And I feel like she was killed. Death. Okay. Maybe had a partnership with these people, or at least one person, a possible more intimate relationship. But that ended. Whatever association she had gotten involved in with somebody in her environment, it was not a stable relationship. I'm not feeling like I'm being shown spouse. I'm feeling like this is somebody outside of her immediate home, but somebody in the area that she lived. And I'm feeling that the relationship ended, the friendship or the relationship ended. I feel like there may have been a financial or business component or link. And there's a lot of emotion involved. There's a lot of emotion involved, invested. And there's a decision, though, amongst, I think, possibly 3 people within that local environment that she would be basically have to go. Unfortunately, the kind of the sacrificial aspect here of, well, she knows too much, or she doesn't want to do this now, and there's a problem because I saw that they wanted in the other reading that these 3 other people, these 2 men and this woman, really wanted to expand whatever financial aspect or business link that they had with her, or were looking to continue with her. And I feel like it was too much for her and she didn't want to do it. She wanted to be done with it. I feel that this is the kind of partnership you don't leave. It's a relationship that's very intense, that it definitely shows that ends, and there's death there. And I feel like this, with that hangman, I feel like her death was because of involvement with people in her locale, some of whom there may have been a business-oriented slant. There also may have been rivalry, the way of if you have an affair, quite possibly, and it ends and people are not satisfied, there is loss. There's a great deal of heaviness and unevenness here, and a lot of emotion invested, and it just feels like it's very close to that place of work, and that's just that town, and things happening behind closed doors, agreements of business and relationships that maybe other people aren't privy to, that is kept on very quiet. This Two of Pentacles, along with reading the Death card vertically, can also indicate two people, and also finances linking to her death, and relationships, money and relationships. There's the King of Wands. I feel like there's a man there that links up to her death. There's definitely something going on relationship-wise with a male, I think, other than her husband, where she's trying to get an emotional need met from somebody, I believe, outside the marriage. I think quite possibly the King of Wands, who I feel is connected to her death, and may have been using her business to do another business with that Two of Pentacles. When we look also vertically this way, with the Nine of Wands, Four of Wands, and Eight of Pentacles, I feel like there was money that other people in that society wanted to continue developing. They wanted, again, to expand some sort of financial potential. And I don't feel, for her, I feel like it was too much and she regretted getting involved and she didn't want to be part of it anymore. But this was going to be very sticky to try and get out of for her. I believe she was looking at wanting to get away. There's a sense of loss, of sacrifice, and the Six of Swords. And usually this indicates, you know, you're leaving, looking to leave a time of loss and getting stuck because you're looking to leave because you just can't work things out there with these people. I think she had more than one thing going on. I think she had problems going on with her marriage that was not going to get any better, and she needed to get out of that. And I think there was something going on within the community and with a few people involving her business, involving money, that she regretted getting involved with, maybe initially through a lover, or close association. But I feel like it's an emotional. There was some sort of an emotional thing initially that she got from these either people or this male, this King of Wands, those involved. There was some sense of fulfillment, but that did end. And I think when it did, she regretted it. Not only did she lose the sense of joy or whatever it was that she was getting out of that, but not just that being lost, but grieving, really regretting involvement. So I feel like there's a back and forth with the King of Wands. This is a volatile man, a man that has a bad temper, and I think potentially also not a fan of women, bit of misogynist, and who takes advantage. Now when you see the cards lined up this way, let's see if I can, bring that over. You can see here that the back and forth ends. The relationship ends. All of this emotional involvement that went back and forth between two ends. And there's regret, there's a great deal of anxiety and pressure, there's feeling stuck in a society or in a place, maybe in that town, locale, and feeling like she's run out of some basic support or partnership that she had had going. Ends, and she's regretful and she's concerned, very much wanting to, I think, leave, feeling stuck. I think she was concerned about becoming some sort of a sacrifice, somebody killing her. I do think she was worried about that, or doing something to her. She was wanting, I believe, things to go in a better direction with finances, and I believe she attempted to bring balance by getting involved with this man. But there's a man that she was involved with, and I don't think it was her husband. And I think that it may have started out as somebody that came in to get a haircut, got to know her, I think along those lines. And as they got to know each other, there's something developed that may have also affected the business angle of and money angle of her business. So personally and relationship-wise and financially, there was something going on. Okay. I'm going to try to set it back down. Okay, well that's not going to work. Let me put this on pause for a minute till I get that fixed. Okay. So when I look down this relationship again, I feel like this was something she got really, really emotionally connected to, and I believe she had a great deal of sexual, I'm just going to say it, chemistry with them. But I think that at some point it became too much for her. She couldn't keep up. She didn't like where something was going, and she wanted out, and she couldn't. She realized she was stuck. and that if she was going to get out, she would have to leave that area. I think basically pack up and go somewhere else where it wouldn't be known, more or less where she went to. That is what I'm feeling. I think she got in over her head with somebody. And they may have started using her business as a front, or just becoming and expecting too much out of her, and she felt stuck. Whether it was emotionally and financially, or one or the other, I feel like that it's a male, primarily through a man, and maybe through other people he knew. But I'm getting the Get Death card, and it's next to that King of Wands. Let's just pull another couple cards. This is oriented with money, and quite possibly I just keep thinking, is this money laundering? Some kind of money laundering going on? It looks like an innocent business, or it looks like an innocent enough front, but there's a lot of money. There's actually a lot of money involved here. Moving through, I believe, a channel that you wouldn't suspect. I wonder about that. Tell me what you think. I'm linking this to a male that she did have a very intimate involvement with, emotionally especially. But when that failed, I think she knew she was in trouble. Her husband may not, I don't think, was the person that did this. She wanted to leave. She was trying to leave and fighting to get out of where she was at. I think she was just really caught, really stuck there. She wanted to leave, and she wanted to cut ties with that place. I believe there are a couple other men that might have knowledge about who did this. And I believe that with regard to her family, she may have also been being threatened with blackmail. If you don't do what we tell you, we're going to tell your husband that you've been cheating, blah, blah, blah. I think she got taken advantage of. I think her vulnerability, her loneliness, and her situation with having this business and an unhappy home life, she gets to know somebody. There's a pretty intense relationship and quite likely some form of, I feel like, involvement in a financial scheme. And then her regretting that angle, but not being able to get out of it, and realizing that she's really put her foot in it. And yeah, I do think she felt stuck and felt like she wanted to leave. And I feel like she could have been thinking of doing that. But somebody got to her before she could. There's a bunch of information here that is not publicly known. A slew of information that's not publicly known. And it's a dark path. There are people, I feel like there's some kind of a business angle. with Patrice. So I'm going to leave it there. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the like or dislike. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.